Oh, Commander. I did not expect our paths to cross in such a forsaken place. I've resigned myself to banishment from the literary community. This is truly the nadir of my great career. Perhaps there is no longer a place for my bold, avant-garde narratives. I have, and I must admit it is a great disappointment. I'd been led to expect it would be petrified. I suppose it's better that it's a thriving ecosystem once again. But certainly, the sight of so many ancient trees hardened to shafts of stone, thrusting into the sky above. Well, that would have been uniquely arresting. Don't you agree? Just leave me to wallow in my misfortune. Did you know there's another literary auteur in these ruins? A serious author who writes serious literature. Please, what has she done that I have not? Can you believe she suggested I take inspiration from other artists? Me? Like some amateur? If you want to help me, then go find some of these inspirations that Rookie recommended. Then I can get her off my back and fade into obscurity in peace. I'm afraid I don't have time to sign any autographs. I'm busy being inspired. And how? Commander, if you have not had the chance yet, you simply must track down a restaurant with pufferfish on the menu. It is incredibly toxic if not prepared just so, but it's also a powerful aphrodisiac. I don't know if it's something in the content of the meat, or quite simply the thrill of still being alive after. But I'm happy to report, the stories are true. Oh, I've been ending every night with a plate of it. And my ideas have never come more easily. I have, and dear Commander, you've been holding out on me. I had the pleasure of acquainting myself with your friend, Detective Rama. And that man has the face of a young and exceptionally virile god. I inquired as to whether he might consider posing for the cover of my next novel. And do you know what he said to me? I'd rather eat day-old sushi while sand crabs attach themselves to my... Well, you can imagine how it ended. I know I have. Ah, thank you for acquiring new inspirational materials. I'm beginning to see the value in witnessing the growth of a character over the course of a story. Our characters have lives of their own, and though we may wish them to remain forever etched at their most idiosyncratic, if we truly love them, then we'll set them free, nurturing them to blossom in unexpected ways. I know Duke Darren's always been a source of levity for my readers, but now I hunger to truly know him as a person. I am percolating fresh ideas for my story. Oh, yes. On the whole, they have eaten it up, as I knew they would. However, I am having a hard time reaching a specific audience. The Tengu of this area are particularly resistant to my work. I've already tried giving away free copies to influential community members, but I was told at least one of them had already been used in the ablution of guano. Perhaps a story penned just to their tastes. What titillates a Tengu? I simply must know. Oh, yes. In fact, I accepted an invitation to share a few bottles of soju with some enthusiastic fans who worked for... Zulai? Anyway, I shared a few ideas for how they might utilize Jade Tech to... accentuate the experiences of the flesh. And wouldn't you know it, a couple of them had a pet project of their own in that vein. We ended up back at their apartment, where I was allowed a sneak preview. Commander, you must track one down when it comes to market. You're so tense. Would do you good.
Oh, hey. You're like the commander, right? I know we didn't talk a lot back in the Eye of the Whatever, but thanks for listening to me when I had to, scream a little. My life's been so much better since I left Snargle. He was really toxic. Like, so toxic. I finally took a writing class at Divinity Community College. It was so boring. We had to read, like, really old stuff. But I started working on a novel. Something really personal to me. I wrote day and night. It took months. Rewrote it, like, over and over. And finally, it was like I had a little piece of me in those pages. I knew Snargle's publisher, Kippo, so I took my manuscript to him. 643 pages. He threw it in the trash, but said I had potentially marketable writing. And that's how I got the gig for Super Adventure Box. It was a dream, honestly. It's such a cool world. It's like virtual, but, reality, and you jump around. They said my first draft was too dark. They were probably right. It's just my style, I guess. I really wish people would stop asking me that.
You don't stand a chance against a true captain!
Strange how?
Stuff not looking right. Not acting right.
Now that you mention it, two songbirds were attacking one another, trying to peck each other to death.
Yeah.
Kippo, I came to Ekavolt on mandatory sabbatical, as you asked.
I hear you've been hobnobbing and giving away copies of your book when you're supposed to be finishing your new one. The Celestial Bodies manuscript that was due a year ago?
I've been busy developing my craft. Rookie thinks my writing's improved by leaps and bounds.
I don't give a Doliac steaming-fetid turd about this Rookie or what he's teaching you.
She's been profoundly insightful.
Well, let me incite something for you. Either you start finishing your damn book so we can push it out to market, or you're fired.
You don't mean that.
Oh, I mean it, Goldclaw. I've been putting up with your delusions of artistic competency for too long. Get it together, or take a hike!
Oh,
attained the
Commander,
awesome.
what am I to do? My time in Arborstone's been quite enriching, but Kippo wants a story immediately. Should I subsume myself to the fascism of the deadline? Or do I trust that time will allow my story to flourish? But then, who would publish it? Oh, it is truly a dilemma. I had some free time at an event earlier. It did not have quite the attendance we had predicted. And I picked Bonnie's book back up. Then I found I could not put it down. A fan had to all but shout in my face for an autograph. Amid all the death and unfortunate dismemberments, the story does have a heart. A heart that might not be free to love, but that is instead fighting for the ability to do so one day. I might have been a bit close-minded. It was hard not to look at Super Adventure Box, the official novel, and not see the book I would have written in its place. I prefer to write the world as it should be. But perhaps there is room for books that warn us of what it might become. I have been perusing that book you brought me by Jawel. Did you know her book inspired the people to demand better working conditions within the textile industry? It has led me to ruminate on the place of the wordsmith in society, and what obligation one has to use one's work to effect a sort of positive change to the social, fabric. Is it enough to champion the heart, the body? Should I also champion the downward trodden? Or is it grandiose to imagine that words have that kind of power? Is it instead that great writers, being sensitive creatures, get swept up in the tides of social movements and crystallize their spirits in amber, earning undue credit for the advancement of social mores? Forgive me, Commander, I do believe I've been rambling. Miss Kundera.
Snargle! How's everything going?
Quite dire, I'm afraid. Kippo will be dropping me as a client.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's actually...
You'll be happy, I suppose. One less rider to compete with.
You really think that's what I want? You were supposed to be my mentor. Instead, you treated me like a butler.
That's not true. You earned a great deal of experience brewing my coffee.
Really, Snargle?
I am so sorry, Bonnie. I took you for granted, and I couldn't see your potential. I know that now. I'm a changed Char. Rookie has taught me what it means to be a mentor. Taught me that being a great writer is more than putting great words on a page.
Who the hell is a rookie?
Bonnie, do you really want to write Super Adventure Box, the official novel, the sequel? You have a gift, and Kippo is squandering it.
There was a time when I would have killed to write Super Adventure Box, the official novel, the sequel. But I think I want to write something on my terms, for myself. I don't care if Kippo calls it unpublishable. Guess he'll fire me too.
Well, I'd be honored to be in such talented company. In my tepid continuation, did I long for a friend.